I've got a 8 sleep, very expensive package. There's a bigger one over there. So if you're watching this video, you're probably interested in better sleep, or you've been doing research between the Chilisleep, the Bedjet, and 8 sleep, which is what I also did in order to come to the conclusion that 8 sleep was the one I wanted. This is not sponsored, 100% paid for this on my own. So let's get into talking about some sleep hacking and what this contraption does. So you may or may not be familiar with sleep and why it's so important. Obviously, it's where our body regenerates overnight. I'm obsessed with finding ways to optimize sleep. The number one thing you can do is not take things like melatonin. That is a hormone alterator and that will do nothing for you. I love listening to PhD or different scientists like Andrew Huberman has amazing information, as well as just a wealth of knowledge across podcasts when it comes to sleep. Dave Asprey's had some really good guests, and I also have his glasses, the True Darks, and also his True Dark, this bamboo blanket. So good, always want to travel with it, as well as just some sleep maximizing supplements, biooptimizers, magnesium blend. Definitely you want magnesium to fall asleep over anything more synthetic like that melatonin. And then Andrew Huberman, a good one is inositol, and then you can also get the isotol. And I'll also put in the notes below all of his other hacks depending on female, male, different preferences, etc. But the number one thing I want you to remember about sleep is that there's no such thing as a sleep bank. So with that, you can't have sleep debt. So if you only slept 2 hours one night, and then 8 hours, and then 3 hours, and then 2 hours, and you're like, oh shoot, the last 2 nights I barely got any sleep. If I just sleep like 12 hours the night after, I'll be caught up. It doesn't work that way. Your body doesn't just have like a recharge point like a battery. It needs that full cycle. So don't think that you can just catch up on sleep. It's definitely more of a gradual process. And then the other thing to remember is sleep inertia is real. So basically when we're sleeping, your body goes through those cycles, and most of them are about 90 minutes or at least an hour. So when you hit snooze, and if you do actually fall back asleep, or maybe not fully back asleep, but you're still kind of in that half awake, half asleep, drowsy mode, what's happening to you is your body's going to try to go through one of those cycles, and that's why you feel so much more tired when you hit snooze. And I'm definitely not perfect. I hit snooze, and that's happened to me so many times, but just try not to do it. I will literally go and take a shower even though I don't need to take a shower, and just put in a hairnet just for something to wake me up, because I am not somebody that can just like get up right away. Even if my phone is in the other room, I'll still just walk to that and then walk back to bed, or if I meditate in bed, I will just fall back asleep. But the number one thing that you can do is try to go to bed at the same time every night, wake up at the same time every morning. Do not fall into sleep inertia. Don't hit snooze no matter how tired you are. And with that too, even if you slept less hours the night before, it's always good to just wake up at that same time the next day. So that's something I'm definitely trying to get better at. And then obviously too, just alcohol and stuff, when they say, oh, you'll sleep better with a glass of wine before bed, that's not true. And other sort of sleep hacking or sleep tracking, like the Oura Ring, your Fitbit, etc., or this 8 Sleep can also track it. There's other things like the Whoop, etc., that can kind of give you more insights of how you actually slept, and then what that means for what you should do the next day. Versus, that's what I don't like about the Fitbit, is it's just saying, oh, you slept this many hours, but it doesn't tell you how much of a quality sleep that was. So really, even if you slept 8 hours but only like an hour of that was real good sleep, then you probably shouldn't do some sort of big hit training the next day. So that's what I'm also excited about, is the pro version of this bed does give you insights on the app, and it's not like there's a phone or a device on your body. It's literally tracking it from the device on the bed. So let's get into talking about comparing the different sleep pads and then how I came to the conclusion to get 8 Sleep over the competitors, and then we're gonna put this together. I'm sure there's other ones on the market, but the 3 main ones that I came across when researching these bed chilling devices was the ChiliPad, the Uller, which I'm sure that was the one I first heard initially. I think they just have so much advertising, and they might have been one of the first people to create this. And then there's also Bedjet, that's very similar to that other one, like just like the style and everything. And then 8 Sleep is more of a thin design for the tank, and that one has more so athletes and more of this intuitive tracking with it. So the biggest thing, you can find people on YouTube who are like mattress fanatics, like these bed edition fanatics, and this one video, I'll link it down below. They've tried like 7 different mattresses. They've tried all of the different cooling pads, so I was like, okay, they've tried each of them for a month. They've got to have good insights. So they obviously had good reviews with all of them because it is cooling your body down while you're sleeping, which is the ultimate way for your body to stay asleep. But what really sold me on the 8 Sleep one is that you couldn't feel the coils underneath. So the other ones basically have these coils running through the bed pad in order for the cool air and the water to all go through and cool it. But it's really uncomfortable if while you're laying down you just feel this giant like pipeline almost of the cooling. So it's like, I don't want to feel that. And then 2, just depending on the type of bed you have and how much space you have, where your outlets are, and how noisy it is, like if you like noise when you sleep. The other 2 brands, the base is huge because that's where you put the water in and everything. And then it was also kind of a little more noisy, and they were also just saying that it didn't last as long before having to change it, and just also just not being able to feel the coolness right away. So that was the biggest thing, is just the comfort overall, because these aren't cheap. All of the brands are around the same price point. So the smallest bed you can go onto is a full-size bed, and then it goes all the way up to a California King. This is a queen bed, and we have a puffy mattress under here, and the Queen Pod Pro is around $1,800. I'll pull up the receipt. I got it during the President's Day sale, so that saved $140. And it is now May, so waited until we moved, and then the bed frame came separate from the bed, just all of these delays, but finally we're ready to set it up. And then we also got the Airlight comforter, and that was just like a cooling kind of like puffy comforter duvet as well to put on there. So the Queen is $1,795 usually, and then the California King is $1,995. So there isn't a ginormous difference between the bed sizes. Like the full is $1,695, so it's about $100 per bed size about. So at least if you do have a huge California King, it's not like you're paying like $600 more by any means. And then the comforter was a little expensive. That one was $200, but just the fact that it all goes together, it was definitely ideal, especially during the summer months. And then another big plus with this that people don't always realize across the board and right off the bat is that yes, this is expensive, but it's much cheaper to have this plugged in versus set your AC or your air, whether you have like central AC or putting a bunch of fans around you or a window unit. It is much more energy efficient to have this versus constantly bringing the temp down across your whole house or apartment all night, every night, when this is just chilling the one room. So then you're obviously not wasting money having to chill the rest of everything else. You can keep that more at an optimal price point there. So basically what it comes with are all of these. You've got the base and the pads and the cords. So It also too, I got the included with it the phone insights. So with that is what it's basically telling you, tracking you how well you're sleeping. So let's grab my phone and get into setting this up. The first things it mentions right off the bat in the app, which will walk you through installing it apparently with videos, is that you will need distilled water, 1/2 gallon, as well as 4 tablespoons of hydrogen peroxide, 3%. It says that you don't have to have these initially when setting it up, that you can add them in later. And I was gonna do this yesterday, but then I realized I didn't have either of those items. And just knowing that it does kind of take a while to set it all up and wanting it to work properly and just the cost of it, I didn't want to wreck anything. So just try to have those on hand before setting this up. So we are going to unbox all of it because I don't know which item is in which box, but it basically says these are the steps of the encasement, the active grid, hooking it up to Wi-Fi, priming it, setting your temperature schedule, and then priming it again. And then all of the insights will be on the app. So on step 1, it shows us the picture, and then it says watch installation video.
Before beginning your setup, make sure you've received both components of the thermo cover labeled box 1.
So make sure you have 2 boxes as well, because otherwise we will not be able to. Okay, so step 1 is to remove all of the existing bedding off the bed. So let's do that. Alright, so we got the strap, and then it said to hold this out of the bed with the 8 Sleep logo facing up in the left corner. Okay. So we're basically just going to put this on like a fitted sheet. It's basically a cover, and then it's got a little zipperoo thing on the side. Not as easy as you would think. You just slide it on like a sheet. I do recommend, if you don't have like the restricting headboard or any sort of sides, to be able to like slide it side to side in order to be able to get the thing on. And then you can kind of see the black on different parts of it. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be all the way flat, but it's definitely up on the sides. Okay. Step number 2, let's see.
Pull the encasement corners at the head of the bed over the mattress, one at a zip the zipper.
Okay, so they have the black.
Bed closed. The full-size thermal cover will only have 1 zipper, while all other sizes will have 2 zippers. Tuck any extra encasement fabric at the head of the bed underneath the mattress. Pull the strap attached to the head of the encasement underneath the mattress until it reaches the foot of the bed. Pull the strap so that the buckle is visible, but do not tighten the strap completely on the loop. Unwrap the tensioning strap. With the buckle hooks facing...
Uh-oh, it says that there's a strap. I don't know if I saw a strap. The instructional video was moving fast and it made it look like those straps were already attached to this, but they were actually those 3 separate straps. So I hooked one up to the top and then went this way and then to the other way, and I haven't like fully hooked them. They're just chilling loose down here. But then I was just confused about the zipper because it's like this is already so tight on the bed, there's just no way that it would like zipper below, but it just really stressed flattening it out and having no wrinkles. But these are obviously just wrinkles from it being folded up inside the box. There's not really a way for me to get those out unless I would be like crazily steaming it, but it's a cooling pad, so I don't think you're supposed to steam it. But we're now on to the next box. So the next box will look like one box, but it's actually 2. It's labeled 2A and 2B, so I'm going to grab what's in 2A. All right, another heavy item. So this is called the Active Grid. So we're going to take this out. Get this vacuum sealed, at least 2 with the first one. It's not really much waste for the planet, like it came in that baggie, no other plastic, so this is the first actual plastic that I've seen, because you can obviously recycle the box.
Now that the encasement is on your mattress, it's time to set up your Active Grid. Open box 2A and take out the fabric bag. The top left corner sticker should be underneath the pillow area of the left side. Let the water cord hang down to the floor. Pull water cord towards hub side. Make sure the neck of the Active Grid is flat. Slide the mattress back onto your bed.
Okay, so it looks like we don't put the water cord on the other side, it'll stay on that left side. Alright, I was just checking to make sure there was an outlet over there too. I guess technically because the water cord is so long, if you only had an outlet on one side, there is enough room to go stick it on the other side. But then the only thing too is that you want to have it, maybe you need an extension cord because you obviously want to hide the water thing under the bed, and that has to hook under there and leave enough cord to go under the bed. So I guess it just depends on your outlets, how tall your bed is, etc. But now we're gonna fit this on. Alright, so now that it's flat on here, I'm just gonna kind of smooth it a little. And then it said to start to zip at all these feathers, the left side. And just the initial first impression from smoothing it down, you actually don't feel any sort of coils or anything. So that one review was so true. It's not like bumpy or anything, so I wouldn't even know that this wasn't just like a normal mattress. changed, lint rolled all of the feathers off of the bed. Did not want those to get smushed down in there, and then zipped it all the way around. It was actually really easy to zip it, just on like the last corners it was hard, but again, it's so much easier if you have a bed that doesn't have any side things, because then you can just pull it forward, pull it to the side, and like really yank it down. So the next step is tightening the straps. So they're already hooked on this, so I'm just gonna pull as tight as I can. Start with the middle one, and then you just hook it on through here, and then pull it tight. No slack. And then it said it's normal for it to look slightly indented. So we got it. So that's normal for this little fold, I guess. And then we're gonna tuck it under the extra strap, and then do that as well for the other side. So they're all initially strapped in on this left side. So I'm gonna come over here. Straps are secure, so now it's on to the final box. So let's get out to B. Obviously it won't be going on the bed, it'll be going on the floor. The video did say that you can pick a side that you want it on, so depending on where your outlet is, there's not a specific side again for that water cord. I think I'm gonna go to that side just because that side is where the leading to the walk-in closet and everything, so it'll definitely have more traction versus that's just a window over there. And I just gotta pull up the backdrop and make sure I can get a plug back there. So I'm gonna go check on that first because we obviously need power. All right, we got it plugged in, and then here's the full contraption. So step number one, we're gonna take the main power source, and then there's just like a little plug for both of these in the back. And it's kind of funny because they both actually look like 8s as well. And then this again, just made sure it was flat across the back of the bed, and then it's flat underneath, just coming all the way down. Okay, so then it said next step, we got a blue light. Good sign is to take the water out. So this is what's actually going to be cooling the whole bed. Okay, so I don't know why it said 4 tablespoons on the instructions. It's saying 2 tablespoons per time you fill it, so maybe it's just like extra on hand for the next time you need it. So more of those gel things. This like wasn't in the picture, so I think this was just part of the packaging. Okay, so we got our distilled water from our absurdly expensive Lake Winds grocery run. The water wasn't expensive, but the food was. Did you know that cherries, it's $22 for 2 bags? Absurd. Okay, so this is a full gallon. You need a half a gallon, but it basically looks like it almost fills to the top, and then just leaving enough room for that hydrogen peroxide. So I'm not gonna like go specifically measure it by any means. All right, then going it right up to the fill line. And then we're gonna add the peroxide. And then in the video, they didn't like stir it up or anything. It just let it swim in there. We don't have much left, so let's hope. only thing I'm thinking is that the bed obviously is not very tall. It's like 3 inches above the bed. That this is not that cute. So I'm glad I'm putting it on this side, but maybe I'll move one of the pillars over here to kind of hide it. We'll see. Otherwise, I am gonna have the chest, this chest over here, because we're having a settee love seat as like a window seat. So actually that'll help hide this. Okay, so now that this is all set up, we are all good to go, and now I can look in the app to do the final setup. So it said it would take about 2 hours, and it took like an hour and a half, but that's only because I was filming and I had those feather issues. So I just wouldn't recommend doing this. Right now it's almost 11 p.m. If you're dead tired and you really want a good night's sleep, I think this would not be a good idea to start late at night. So definitely do this like during the day, or just have time to prep, because then obviously I'm gonna put clean sheets on here and all the bedding back, and figure it out through the app, etc. So pretend like you're doing this like the day before you actually want to sleep in it, so it's just like done. Just connected to Wi-Fi, and then you tell them what side of the bed you're sleeping on. So technically this is my right side over here, but it's the one with the 8 sleep logo, so that's the left side in the app. So I put mine right there, and then you can pick both sides if you are just the sole sleeper, or you can invite your partner. So I invited Pat, and you have to do it over email, and then they'll just use your login for that. And then that's what's unique about this one, is you do get both sides, versus some of them like the Chili pad, you can buy it for just half the bed, so it's about half the cost, but it's still not exactly 50-50. It was $999 for the Chili pad, which I just don't get how it would be super secure on the bed if it was just half of the bed. So I definitely think it's just better overall to have the full bed personally. But that's super easy, that then too, the other person sleeping in your bed can just download the app and then also get their own insights. So it's not just like, oh, I purchased this, only I can see it. It's like your partner gets the benefits as well. So I got my side of the bed, I'm hitting next. So we are connected. Now priming. What is priming? The pod uses water to power the dynamic temperature feature. The water lives in the hub's tank and must be refilled every 2 to 3 months. So not too bad. Don't worry, the app will notify you when it's time to refill. To get the pod ready to use water today, you must first prime the device twice. So we added the water, we used distilled water. Next, we added the 2 tablespoons. Oh, that's why we need the 4 tablespoons, because we're going to be priming it twice. Okay. Okay, so we're about to prime. We put water in it, the distilled water. We put the hydrogen peroxide. It's properly placed inside the hub. It's flat, it's not leaking, and the water cord is plugged in. We have our light on, so I'm gonna click prime now. You can hear it. Okay, this step takes up to 10 minutes. During this step, it's normal to hear noise coming from the hub as the hub funnels water into the active grid. It's like the one back cord doesn't seem secure to me. Okay, well, we'll revisit in 10 minutes to see how the priming goes. The pod is done priming. I definitely did not have the thicker cord in there, right? The one with the 4 prongs. It was loose, but thankfully like no water or anything came out. But once you put it in, you really have to push it up there, and then it makes a clicky noise, and then it started to make other noises. So it's not the easiest, but now we are doing temperature scheduling. So it says, your body's temperature changes over the course of the night as you sleep. With the pod, your bed can adjust overnight too. So how do you like your bed to feel? Hot, warm, neutral, cool? or cold? So like, do you throw off the covers in the middle of the night, or do you use lots of blankets, or you're just neutral? Definitely not me. Like, whatever the bed is, you're just fine with that. I'm gonna say I tend to feel a little bit warm in bed. I do like to put blankets on, but it's not because I'm freezing. It's because I turn the air down so I don't get too hot. So I'm gonna say cool. Okay, choose your bedtime temperature. Your bed will start to cool or heat, so you can also heat it if you're not a cool person, kind of thing. Your bed will start to cool or heat 30 minutes before bedtime, so it's ready when you are. People like you fall asleep fastest at this temperature setting. It says -2, and I'm guessing that's not -2 degrees. I don't know. I'm just gonna do what their technology knows best. Okay. So it says as you sleep, it'll go to -2, -2, and then once you're in that REM sleep in it, knows that you're in that deepest sleep, it'll go down in temperature. When you typically go to bed, so that it's on time, and I like this too because it'll help you be accountable to going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time. But obviously too, if anything changes, your plans change, etc., you can update your bedtime in the app. So I'm just gonna say typically 10 p.m., but obviously tonight that's not the case because it's past 11. What time would you like to wake up? I'm gonna say 6 a.m. Although I'm trying to do it earlier, but Pat usually wakes up at 5:40 if he's not working overnight, but I'll just do 6. Ooh, and now you gotta pick what temperature you want to wake up to. So you could pick it warmer, cooler. The temperature is unlikely to wake you up. If you don't rely on a different alarm and need to wake up, consider a cooler temperature. So that's kind of cool. You can make yourself just so hot or so cold that you don't even need an actual alarm clock. I'm gonna make it very, very cold because then I'll like actually want to get out of bed and put more clothes on, versus obviously if you're nice and toasty, you're not gonna want to get out of bed. Although I would like to be able to then be so cool, just like jump in the shower, put the hot water on, and then put the cold water on to give the good vascular system going, and then that also just like really wakes you up. So I'm gonna say -5, very cold. Make sure you're up and ready for the day with energizing vibration. Vibration works quietly as it gradually ramps up intensity. Oh, so the bed can start to vibrate as your alarm clock. And this is only happening on my side of the bed, not the other side. Sure, I'll try it. I'm gonna do it in the middle at medium. Okay, so it's gonna be -2, -1-ish when I'm sleeping, and then to wake me up, -5. And then as I see the sleep data, I'll know if this is what I need or not. All right, so now priming. Gotta take out the water tank. Let's see if it's actually fully empty. All right. Oh. Okay, so there was a little bit left in there. So we're gonna fill it up, prime it again, and then I think we'll be on our way to then being able to set it up, and I'll be able to give a review of how I like it, if the coldness and the vibration actually wakes me up. I also have the Hatch Sleep alarm clock, which I love because you can set a bedtime routine. I like to do 45 minutes before bed and then like start, because it always takes you longer than you think to do like your nighttime skincare and everything. And then you can hear rain sounds, a meditation, there's so many things. But I'm typically such a deep sleeper, even if I do wake up in the middle of the night, but that I will need an alarm unless like I do need an eye mask, but unless there was like a bright thing in my eyes, I don't think I would actually wake up. But maybe with the vibration I will. I don't know. We'll see. But the next time you see 8 Sleep in one of my video titles, you will see my review on it and what I recommend if it's worth $2,000. You can, I think I forgot to mention that You can do payment plans with Affirm or Afterpay, etc. if you're not ready to pay that big price ticket up front, or you can figure out how you and your partner could split it, etc. This I just paid for because I really wanted it, and I was telling Pat about it and he just doesn't seem like interested enough to be like, okay, I'll pay half. But maybe over time you can convince your partner to pay up that $1,000. But yes, I'm very, very excited, especially because it's been a long day to get the full night's sleep with this, and then also have some sort of sleep data, because I've been debating getting the Oura Ring, but I knew just having this that I didn't need another thing telling me about my sleep. And also with that ring, just like working out and stuff, not wanting to wear it, but we'll see. Maybe I just want all 24/7 of the day tracking, but that's also why I stopped wearing my Apple Watch as much, is it's just like too much constantly, all your phone notifications on your hand, just like always thinking, do I have enough steps, all that stuff in my head. Like I just want to focus on sleep for now. So stay tuned. I hope you also become a sleep guru. Let me know if you take any supplements, any sort of like unwind drinks or something. I also just got Peak Sleep from Bare Nutrition for like an mushroom blend. I do have OM mushrooms hot cocoa, but that also has like calmness but also clarity, so I feel like it's not 100% a wind down drink because it also can give you focus. I don't know exactly. But then I have also Life Cycle Organics mushroom sprays, and just all of my whole little sleep stack. I have like a little vitamin thing for sleep, just no melatonin in there, but we'll see. Super excited. So thanks for watching, and again, if you do get one of these, just be prepared for it to actually take about 2 hours like it says, especially with the priming. Don't forget to give this a thumbs up and let me know what else you want to see for reviews. With moving, we've gotten a lot of new stuff and whatnot, so the floor is open. Thank you. The second priming is going right now. It was a little scary. It said it was going to take 90 minutes, but it said you don't need to like stay at home for this. You can still go to sleep. You don't have to wait for it to be fully primed. That it just might not be the ultimate temperature until it's done priming for the second time, and then 2 is just gonna be a little louder while it's priming. But I just wanted to show some of the app features here. Super cool. So you can add tags to like give it insights as to what happened to you during that day. So if you were stretching, if you had late caffeine, calisthenics, however you say that, if you had a lot of carbs, less carbs, if you did a lot of cardio, CBD, like the other types of foods, fats, etc. If you had alcohol, no caffeine, etc. If you're on your period, low or high protein diet, strength training, you had sugar, you had screen time late. You can also search things as well for things that aren't just like the normal things here, and then you can also set up anything to attach with any sort of wearables you have. So Apple Watch, Fitbit, Whoop, etc. I have something called an Apollo Neuro for kind of like calming your body down, but I don't think that would do it. And then it also has meditations, different sounds, stress release, health access with your phone. It'll give you a little health report. It has sleep tools, so meditation, breathing, or even a guided like stretch. The guy's doing like a plank. It'll even give you your heart rate, your heart variability rate, beats per minute, your percentage. And then you can then at the bottom also update your bedtime and wake up time through there. So I don't think it's like you put days of the week, your different times, you would just do it each time. But again, just wanting you to just have that exact same time each day about. I really like that it has the sleep tools and everything. And then also when I did make this purchase, I got with it included a year of this pro version of the app. Otherwise, I think it may be a monthly or a yearly charge. I'm sure that you save some money doing the year charge. Don't remember because I got it during that promo. And then here too, The temp dial, I have it turned off because I'm obviously not sleeping now, but if you're in bed and you do want to like switch it right away, like this is way too cold or way too hot, you can switch it there. So it seems very techy, very insightful. It's got all those extras. So I've got meditation through Hatch, through Peloton, through this. I'll never get sick of it. There's also other apps like Headspace, Jay Shetty. There's so many things, but I like too that it even has things to kind of sync with your body of how you're feeling, how much you ate or worked out, or just with women if you're pregnant or on your period, etc. It'll kind of move with you to find just like that exact optimal sleep. So I'm so excited for trying this out for a week, a month, and being able to give a full update. And then I'll also have Pat give an update as well, with him being somebody like not super excited about it because he works overnight in the ICU and his hours definitely vary, so he's not able to get in that circadian rhythm with his body. So we'll see how this goes, and maybe it'll help for him too. If anybody works in medicine as well, or your partner does, and you just know too that you're not able to get the adequate amount of sleep and or in that good sleep cycle, and or your partner may be waking up because you're waking up or coming home at random hours, I'm very interested to see how this will also kind of help mesh all of that together as well, because some people have separate bedrooms, etc., but we don't, so we'll see. But I'm very, very excited. It's worth the setup, and it seems like it'll be worth the money.